The alarm bells rang loud through the space station. Commander Hyunwoo ran down the metal hallway as red lights flashed on every wall. His boots made sharp sounds on the floor. He had been sleeping when the emergency call came in. Now he was fully awake and ready for action. "Commander, we have a situation," said Admiral Park through the speaker system. "Report to the briefing room immediately." Hyunwoo pushed through the heavy doors of the briefing room. Inside, 4 other people were already waiting. These were his best team members. Boram sat at the table cleaning her weapons. She was small, but everyone knew she could blow up a mountain if needed. Junho stood near the wall, looking at data on his tablet. He was the smartest tactical officer in the fleet. So Young was checking her medical supplies. Her gentle hands had saved many lives. Taemin was setting up the communication equipment. He could talk to anyone in any language. "Good, you are all here," Admiral Park said as he walked into the room. He looked tired and worried. "We have received multiple distress calls from the mining colony on Kepler 442b. The situation is very bad." The Admiral pressed a button and a large screen came down from the ceiling. Images of destruction filled the screen. Buildings were smashed to pieces. Large mining machines were thrown around like toys. Bodies of workers lay scattered across the ground. "What happened there?" Hyunwoo asked. "Something attacked the colony 3 weeks ago. The survivors call it a monster. It is huge and very dangerous. Look at this footage." The screen showed a video from a security camera. At first, nothing moved. Then suddenly, a massive shadow appeared. The creature was taller than any building in the colony. It had thick arms and legs like tree trunks. Its skin looked like it was made of crystal that caught the light. 6 limbs moved with surprising grace for something so large. Most frightening were its eyes. They glowed bright amber in the darkness. "How many people died?" So Young asked quietly. 47. Confirmed dead. 23 missing. Only 15 survivors managed to escape to the emergency shelters. Boram looked up from her weapons. "What kind of weapons do we need to kill this thing?" "We have prepared special equipment for this mission. Plasma rifles that can cut through the thickest armor. Seismic charges that can bring down a mountain. And this." The Admiral held up a small silver device. "A prototype neural disruptor. It sends signals directly to the brain and shuts down the nervous system." Junho studied the creature on the screen. "Admiral, this thing seems to be acting with purpose. Look how it moves. It is not just destroying randomly." "What do you mean?" Hyunwoo asked. "Watch carefully. The creature targets specific buildings. It goes after the mining equipment first, then the power generators, then the communication towers. This is not the behavior of a wild animal. This is strategic thinking." The Admiral nodded. "You may be right, which makes it even more dangerous. A smart enemy is harder to defeat than a stupid one." Hyunwoo watched the footage again. Something bothered him about what he saw, but he could not figure out what it was. The creature moved with such care, even while destroying everything around it. It was like watching someone take apart a machine piece by piece. "The mining company wants this problem solved quickly," the Admiral continued. "Kepler 442b has some of the richest mineral deposits in this sector. The colony produces rare metals that are essential for building our ships and weapons. We cannot lose this source of materials." "What about the survivors?" So Young asked. "Are they safe?" "For now. They are hiding in underground shelters. But their food and water will not last much longer. We need to eliminate this threat and rescue them." Taemin looked up from his equipment. "Have we tried to communicate with this creature? If it is intelligent as Junho suggests, maybe we can talk to it." The Admiral shook his head. "The mining company tried everything. They sent messages in every known language. They played music. They even tried mathematical sequences. The creature ignored all attempts at communication and continued its destruction." "Maybe it does not want to talk," Boram said. "Maybe it just wants to kill." Hyunwoo studied his team. They were all good people who had served with him for years. Boram was tough and fearless. Junho was brilliant and careful. So Young was kind but brave. Taemin was curious and patient. He trusted them with his life. "How long do we have?" Hyunwoo asked. The transport ship is ready. You leave in 2 hours. The journey to Kepler 442b will take 3 days. That gives you time to study the creature and plan your attack. The screen changed to show a map of the colony. The damage was spread across a wide area. The creature had moved through the settlement like a storm, leaving destruction in its path. The survivors reported that the creature appeared suddenly, the Admiral explained. There was no warning. No ships detected entering the system. It was as if it came from nowhere. Where is it now? Junho asked. The last sighting was near the canyon system on the western edge of the colony. It seems to have made that area its territory. The survivors say it returns there every night. Hyunwoo looked at the map again. The canyon system was perfect for an ambush. Rocky walls would provide cover. Multiple paths would give them options for attack and escape, but it would also give the creature advantages too. What do we know about the planet itself? So Young asked. Standard atmosphere. Gravity is slightly lighter than Earth. Temperature is cool but comfortable. The main dangers are the rocky terrain and the creature. Any other life forms? Taemin asked. Small animals and plants. Nothing that could threaten a human. The creature is the only large life form on the planet. Hyunwoo made his decision. We take the mission, but we go in carefully. This creature is not like anything we have faced before. We study it first. We learn its patterns. Then we strike. Good, the Admiral said. Your ship is the Vengeance. It has the best weapons and shields in the fleet. Captain Lee will get you to the planet safely. The team began to pack their equipment. Boram loaded her explosives into heavy cases. Junho copied all the data about the creature onto his portable computer. So-young filled her medical bag with supplies for treating injuries. Taemin packed his communication devices and translation programs. As they prepared to leave, Hyunwoo watched the video footage one more time. The creature moved through the colony with such purpose. It knew exactly what it wanted to destroy and what to leave alone. But why? What was it looking for? Commander, Junho said quietly, I have been analyzing the destruction pattern. The creature took things. What kind of things? Metal parts from the mining equipment, electronic components from the computers, rare minerals from the storage areas. It was not just destroying. It was collecting. This information made Hyunwoo even more uneasy. A creature that collected things was different from one that just killed. It suggested planning and purpose beyond simple violence. Keep analyzing the data during the journey, he told Junho. I want to know everything about this creature before we face it. The team left the briefing room and headed toward the transport ship. As they walked through the corridors, other soldiers saluted them. Everyone knew this was a dangerous mission. Many creatures had been defeated by human forces, but this one felt different. The Vengeance was a beautiful ship. Sleek and powerful, with enough weapons to destroy a small moon. Captain Lee welcomed them aboard and showed them to their quarters. The ship would be their home for the next 3 days as they traveled to face the monster. As the ship launched and jumped into hyperspace, Hyunwoo stood at the window looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, a creature waited in the darkness. Soon, they would meet face to face. Only one of them would survive the encounter. At least, that was what he thought at the time. The Vengeance landed on Kepler 442b during the dark hours before dawn. The planet's surface was quiet and cold. 2 moons hung in the purple sky, casting strange shadows across the rocky ground. Hyunwoo and his team stepped out of the ship wearing their combat suits. The air was thin but breathable. Stay close together, Hyunwoo said through his helmet radio. We do not know what we are walking into. The team moved carefully toward the colony. Their boots crunched on the frozen ground. In the distance, they could see the damaged buildings. Some were completely destroyed. Others looked like they had been taken apart piece by piece. Boram carried her weapons ready to fire. This place gives me a bad feeling, she said. The thermal scans show no movement, Junho reported while looking at his scanner. But that does not mean we are safe. They reached the edge of the colony as the sun began to rise. The destruction was worse than the video footage had shown. Huge machines lay scattered around like broken toys. Walls were torn down with surgical precision. But something was strange about the damage. "Look at this," So Young said, pointing to a medical building. "This place is completely untouched, but the building next to it is destroyed." Taemin examined the wreckage more closely. The creature was very careful about what it destroyed. It avoided the hospital, the school, and the living areas. It only attacked the industrial buildings. Junho nodded as he studied his scanner. The creature targeted specific materials: titanium from the mining equipment, rare earth elements from the processing plant, synthetic polymers from the manufacturing center. "Why would it want those things?" Hyunwoo asked. "I do not know. But this is not random destruction. The creature knows exactly what it needs." They followed the trail of destruction toward the canyon system. The creature's footprints were easy to see in the soft ground. Each print was as wide as a person was tall. The depth showed how heavy the creature must be. "The prints are fresh," Boram observed. "Maybe from last night." "It comes back here regularly," Junho said. "The survivors reported seeing it return to the canyons every evening." As they walked, Taemin noticed something else. "Look at how the materials were moved. The creature did not just take random pieces. It selected specific parts and carried them away carefully. The trail led them into a narrow canyon with high walls on both sides. The morning sun barely reached the bottom, leaving most of the area in shadow. Perfect place for an ambush, Hyunwoo thought. "Movement ahead," Junho whispered, checking his thermal scanner. The team stopped and raised their weapons. Through the shadows, they could see a massive shape moving slowly between the rocks. The creature was even larger than the videos had shown. It stood on 4 powerful legs, with 2 arms that could reach high above its head. Its skin was not just crystal-like, but actually seemed to be made of living crystal that changed color in the light. "It is beautiful," So Young whispered. "It is dangerous," Boram corrected, aiming her plasma rifle. But the creature did not attack. Instead, it stopped moving and turned its great head toward them. The amber eyes studied each member of the team. There was intelligence in that gaze, intelligence and something else. Sadness, perhaps. "Hold your fire," Hyunwoo ordered. "Let us see what it does." The creature tilted its head like a curious animal. It took 1 step forward, then stopped. It seemed to be waiting for something. "It is not acting aggressive," So Young observed. "Maybe it does not see us as a threat. Or maybe it is planning something," Boram said, keeping her weapon ready. Taemin slowly lowered his rifle. "I think it is trying to communicate." The creature made a low sound, like singing crystals. The sound echoed off the canyon walls, creating a strange harmony. Then it pointed one of its large arms toward the deeper part of the canyon. "It wants us to follow," Taemin said. "That could be a trap," Junho warned. "Everything could be a trap," Hyunwoo replied. "But we came here to learn about this creature. This might be our chance." The creature turned and began walking deeper into the canyon. It moved slowly, looking back occasionally to make sure the humans were following. Its movements were graceful despite its size. "This is not the behavior of a killer," So Young said. "It is acting more like a guide." They followed the creature, through winding passages between tall rock walls. The path led upward toward the center of the canyon system. As they climbed, Hyunwoo noticed more footprints in the ground. The creature had been walking this same path many times. "Look at the walls," Taemin said, pointing upward. The canyon walls showed marks where the creature had touched them, but these were not claw marks or damage. They were almost like decorations, patterns carved into the stone with great care. "It is making art," So Young realized. "Or marking territory," Boram suggested. The path led to a wide opening in the canyon. Here, the creature stopped and turned to face the humans again. It made the same crystal singing sound, but softer this time, almost gentle. "It brought us here for a reason," Hyunwoo said. "But what?" The creature pointed toward the far side of the opening. There, hidden in the shadows, was something the team had not expected to see. A structure, not a natural cave, a rock formation, but something built with purpose and skill. That is not possible, Junho said, staring at the structure. The report said this creature only destroys things. The reports were wrong, Taemin replied. The structure was made from the materials the creature had taken from the colony. Titanium. Beams formed a framework. Rare metals had been shaped into complex patterns. Synthetic polymers filled the gaps between the metal pieces. But this was not crude construction. The work showed understanding of engineering principles that should have been beyond any wild creature. It is a building, So Young said in amazement. But what is it for? Boram asked. The creature moved toward the structure and gestured for them to follow. As they got closer, they could see more details. The building had systems built into it, tubes that looked like they could carry air or water, panels that might control temperature, chambers that could hold pressure. This is advanced technology, Junho said, scanning the structure with his equipment. Not as advanced as ours, but far beyond what we expected from this creature. The creature led them to the entrance of the structure. The opening was too small for it to enter, but perfect for something smaller, or someone smaller. It built this for us? Taemin wondered. No, So Young said, studying the measurements. It built this for something else, something about our size but not human. The creature made its singing sound again. This time the sound seemed sad. It touched the structure gently with one of its great hands, the way a person might touch something precious. I think this creature is not what we thought it was, Hyunwoo said slowly. I think we have made a mistake. What kind of mistake? Boram asked. We came here to kill a monster. But I do not think this is a monster at all. The creature seemed to understand his words, even though they were speaking human language. It looked at Hyunwoo with those intelligent amber eyes and made a soft sound that could only be described as agreement. So what is it? Junho asked. Before anyone could answer, they heard a new sound. Not the crystal singing of the large creature, but something smaller and weaker. It came from inside the structure. There is something alive in there, So Young said, checking her medical scanner. The readings showed a heartbeat. Actually, 2 heartbeats, one strong and steady, one weak and irregular. 2 life forms, she reported. One seems to be in distress. The creature heard her words and became agitated. It paced back and forth in front of the structure, making worried sounds. It wanted to help whatever was inside, but it was too large to enter. I think I understand now, Taemin said quietly. This creature is not a destroyer. It is a builder. And it built this place to protect something it cares about. The truth hit them all at the same time. The creature had not attacked the colony, out of hatred or hunger. It had taken what it needed to build something important, something that required specific materials and careful construction. It is trying to save someone. So Young realized. The creature looked at her and made a sound. That was definitely agreement. Then it pointed to the structure and then to the humans. The message was clear. Help me. Commander, Junho said urgently. We need to contact the ship. This changes everything. What do you mean? Hyunwoo asked. We were sent here to kill a monster. But this is not a monster. This is a parent trying to save its child. The creature seemed to understand their words. It made a long, mournful sound that echoed through the canyon. In that sound, they heard desperation and hope and love. What do we do now? Boram asked, still holding her weapon but no longer aiming it at the creature. Hyunwoo looked at his team, then at the creature, then at the carefully built structure. Everything they had been told about this mission was wrong. The creature was not their enemy. It was a desperate parent who had done what any parent would do. We help, he said finally. We find out what is in that structure, and we help save it. The creature seemed to understand. It stepped back and gestured toward the entrance of the structure, an invitation and a plea for help. The hunt had become a rescue mission. So Young was the first to enter the structure. She was the smallest member of the team, and the entrance was narrow. Her medical training made her the best choice to examine whatever was inside. The creature watched nervously as she disappeared through the opening. What do you see? Hyunwoo asked through the radio. This is incredible. So Young's voice came back filled with wonder. The inside is like a medical facility. There are life support systems, temperature controls, air purifiers. This creature built a hospital. She moved deeper into the structure, her helmet light showing the way. The walls were lined with equipment made from the materials taken from the colony. But everything was arranged with careful thought. Wires carried power to different systems. Tubes moved clean air throughout the space. Panels controlled temperature and humidity. The craftsmanship is amazing, she reported. Everything fits together perfectly. This creature understands engineering better than most humans. At the center of the structure was a large chamber. Inside the chamber was something that made So Young gasp in surprise. A huge egg, nearly as tall as she was. The shell was translucent, like cloudy glass. Through it, she could see movement. There is an egg in here, she said. Something is alive, inside it. She activated her medical scanner and pointed it at the egg. The readings made her heart race. 2 heartbeats, just as she had detected from outside. But one of them was very weak. The baby is in trouble, she said. Its heartbeat is irregular. The life signs show distress. Outside, the creature heard her words and made a sound of deep sadness. It pressed its massive hands against the structure, wishing it could fit inside to help its child. Can you help it? Hyunwoo asked. So Young studied her scanner readings. I need to understand what kind of creature this is first. The baby's physiology is different from anything I have seen before. She moved around the egg, taking readings from different angles. The equipment built into the chamber was working hard to keep the environment stable. Temperature regulators kept the air warm. Humidity controls added moisture. Chemical processors cleaned impurities from the atmosphere. This whole structure is an incubator, she realized. The parent built this to keep the egg healthy. But something is wrong? Taemin asked. Yes. The baby's respiratory system is not developing properly. It needs specific atmospheric conditions that the parent cannot provide with the available materials. Junho was studying the structure from outside with his scanners. The design is brilliant but incomplete. The creature needs more advanced components to finish the life support system. What kind of components? Hyunwoo asked. Medical-grade atmospheric processors, rare gas mixtures, synthetic membrane materials, things that only exist in advanced civilizations. The creature seemed to understand their conversation. It made urgent sounds and began moving around the structure, pointing to different areas where work was unfinished. It knows what it needs, Taemin observed, but it cannot get those materials here. So Young continued her examination of the egg. Through the translucent shell, she could see the baby creature inside. It looked like a smaller version of its parent with the same crystalline skin and amber eyes. But it was struggling to breathe. How long does it have? Hyunwoo asked quietly. Based on these readings, maybe 2 or 3 days. After that, the respiratory failure will be too advanced to reverse. The parent creature had heard every word. It collapsed to the ground outside the structure and made a sound of pure anguish. All its work, all the materials it had gathered, all the careful construction was not enough to save its child. We have to help, So Young said firmly. How? Boram asked. We came here to kill this creature, not perform medical procedures on its baby. The creature is not our enemy, Hyunwoo said. It never was. It is just a parent trying to save its child. Junho was analyzing data on his tablet. I have been studying the destruction pattern at the colony. The creature only took materials that were essential for building this medical facility. It avoided taking anything that would kill the colonists. What do you mean? Taemin asked. It could have taken the power generators, but it left them running so the colonists would have heat and light. It could have taken the water purifiers, but it left them alone so the colonists would have clean water. It could have taken the food storage, but it did not touch it. This information made them all look at the creature with new understanding. It had been careful not to kill the humans, even while taking what it desperately needed for its child. It was trying to be merciful, So Young said. Even in its desperation, it did not want to hurt anyone. The creature looked at her and made a soft sound that seemed like gratitude for understanding. But the colonists fought back, Boram said. People died. Because they were afraid, Hyunwoo replied. They saw a monster stealing their equipment. They did not know it was trying to save a life. Taemin activated his communication equipment. I want to try something. Maybe we can establish better communication with the creature. He set up his translator and pointed it at the creature. Then he began with simple concepts, numbers, basic shapes, mathematical relationships. The creature watched with interest and began responding. It is working, Taemin said excitedly. The creature is intelligent enough to understand abstract concepts. Through patient work, they began to establish a primitive form of communication. The creature learned to use simple symbols to express ideas. Slowly, its story began to emerge. The creature's species had lived on a planet many light years away. They were peaceful beings who built beautiful structures and raised their children with great care. But their sun became unstable. Solar flares began to strip away their planet's atmosphere. Most of the species died in the catastrophe. Only a few managed to escape in primitive spacecraft. The creature and its mate had been carrying an egg when they fled their dying world. But the radiation from their sun had damaged the developing baby. They are refugees, So Young realized, the last survivors of their species. The creature confirmed this with sad movements of its great head. Then it made more symbols to continue the story. Its mate had died during the journey to this system. The creature was alone with a sick child and no way to provide the medical care the baby needed. When it detected the mining colony, it saw a chance to gather materials that might save its child's life. It never meant to hurt anyone, Taemin said. It was just trying to be a good parent. Where did it learn to build such advanced systems? Junho asked. More symbols revealed that the creature's species were natural engineers. They built their cities to work in harmony with their environment. Each individual understood construction and technology the way humans understood language. We have to help save the baby, So Young said firmly. How? Hyunwoo asked. We do not have the medical equipment it needs. Our ship does. The Vengeance has a full medical bay with atmospheric processors and synthetic membrane materials. If we can transport some of that equipment here, we might be able to complete the life support system. Boram shook her head. Our orders were to eliminate the threat, not provide medical assistance to aliens. Our orders were based on wrong information, Hyunwoo replied. We thought we were fighting a monster, but we found a parent trying to save its child. What will command say when they find out we helped instead of killed? I do not know, but I know what I will say when I look in the mirror tomorrow. Will I be proud of following orders, or will I be proud of saving an innocent life? The creature listened to their debate with obvious understanding. It did not try to influence their decision. It simply waited with the patience of a parent who had already done everything possible to save its child. I vote to help, So Young said. Me too, Taemin agreed. Junho looked at his data again. The baby will die if we do nothing. I cannot live with that. All eyes turned to Boram. She was the most military-minded of the group. She followed orders, without question, and trusted authority. But she was also human. I have a daughter back on Earth, she said quietly. If she were dying and aliens could save her, I would want them to help. She looked at the creature with new understanding. We help. Hyunwoo felt proud of his team. They were choosing compassion over orders, life over duty. Then we help. Junho, what equipment do we need from the ship? Atmospheric processor unit, 7. Synthetic membrane sheets for medical storage. Chemical gas canisters with rare earth mixtures. And So Young's advanced life support monitor. Can we transport all that here? It will take several trips with the shuttle, but yes. The creature seemed to understand their decision. It stood up and made a sound that was clearly gratitude. Then it began pointing to different parts of the structure, showing them where the new equipment could be installed. It wants to help with the installation, Taemin observed. Good. We will need its engineering knowledge to make this work. As they prepared to return to the ship, So Young took one more look at the egg. Inside, The baby creature was still struggling to breathe. But soon, if their plan worked, it would have the clean air and proper environment it needed to survive. "Hold on, little one," she whispered. "Help is coming." The hunt had become a rescue mission. And for the first time since arriving on this planet, Hyunwoo felt like they were doing the right thing. The trip back to the Vengeance took 2 hours. Hyunwoo and his team moved quickly across the rocky terrain, while the creature waited patiently by its makeshift hospital. Captain Lee was surprised to see them return without completing their mission. "Commander, did you eliminate the target?" Captain Lee asked as they boarded the ship. "The situation is more complex than we thought," Hyunwoo replied. "We need medical equipment from the ship." "Medical equipment? I thought you were hunting a monster." "We were wrong about what we were hunting." Hyunwoo gathered his team in the medical bay. So Young began selecting equipment they would need: atmospheric processors, synthetic membranes, chemical gas mixtures, and monitoring devices. Each piece was essential for saving the alien baby. "This equipment is worth more than most people make in a year," Captain Lee observed. "Command will not be happy if we lose it." "Command will not be happy about a lot of things we are doing today," Boram said while loading equipment onto transport carts. Junho was studying the creature's biology data that So Young had collected. "I have been analyzing the scans of the parent creature. Its physiology is unlike anything in our databases." "What did you find?" Hyunwoo asked. "The creature's body processes minerals directly from its environment. That crystalline skin is not just protective. It actually absorbs trace elements from the air and ground. Like a living mineral processor." "Exactly. And look at this." Junho showed them a detailed scan. The creature's brain structure is incredibly complex. Neural pathways that suggest advanced problem-solving abilities and emotional depth. So Young paused in her equipment selection. "Emotional depth?" "The scans show brain activity patterns similar to what we see in humans experiencing grief, hope, and parental love. This creature feels emotions as deeply as we do." This information made them all quiet. They were not just helping an intelligent alien. They were helping someone who loved their child as much as any human parent. "There is more," Junho continued. "The creature's species appears to have been highly advanced. I found traces of complex metallurgy in its body chemistry. They were natural engineers who could shape metal and crystal with their bare hands." "How is that possible?" Tai Min asked. "Their hands secrete chemicals that can alter molecular structures. They do not need tools to build. They are the tools." This explained how the creature had been able to construct such an advanced medical facility using only materials taken from the mining colony. Its species had evolved to be living construction equipment. "What about the baby?" So Young asked. "Is it healthy otherwise?" Junho pulled up the scan data from the egg. "Physically, the baby appears normal for its species. The problem is environmental. The radiation exposure during their escape from their dying world damaged its developing respiratory system. Can our equipment fix that? If we provide the right atmospheric conditions, the baby's lungs should heal themselves." The species has remarkable regenerative abilities. As they loaded the medical equipment onto the shuttle, Captain Lee approached Hyunwoo privately. "Commander, I have to ask, are you sure about this course of action?" "No," Hyunwoo admitted. "But I am sure that letting an innocent child die is wrong. Command sent us here to eliminate a threat to human interests. The threat was never real. The creature was just trying to save its baby. Would you not do the same for your child?" Captain Lee was quiet for a moment. He had 2 children back on Earth. "What do you need from me?" "Time. Do not report our status to command until we finish this mission. That could end both our careers. Some things are more important than careers." The shuttle trip back to the canyon took 30 minutes. The creature was waiting exactly where they had left it. When it saw them returning with equipment, it made sounds of excitement and hope. "It understands that we are trying to help," Taemin observed. They began unloading the medical equipment near the structure. The creature watched every piece with intelligent eyes, already planning how each component would fit into its design. So Young entered the structure again to check on the air. "Baby?" The life signs were weaker than before. Time was running out. "We need to work fast," she reported. The baby is declining rapidly. The creature seemed to understand the urgency. It began carefully picking up pieces of equipment with its massive hands. Despite its size, it handled the delicate instruments with surprising gentleness. "Look at that precision," Junho marveled. "Its hands are steadier than most humans." Working together, they began installing the new equipment. The creature's engineering knowledge was invaluable. It knew exactly how each system should connect to the others. When the humans were confused about placement, the creature would guide them with careful gestures. "It is like working with a master craftsman," Boram said as she helped connect power cables. The atmospheric processor was the most critical component. It would create the exact gas mixture the baby needed to heal its damaged lungs. The creature watched nervously as they installed it into the structure's ventilation system. "Processor is online," Junho reported. "Atmospheric composition is adjusting to optimal levels." The synthetic membrane sheets were next. These would line the incubation chamber and maintain perfect humidity levels. So Young worked inside the structure while the creature passed materials through the entrance. "The creature's hands are secreting something," she observed. "Some kind of chemical that makes the membrane sheets bond perfectly to the walls." "Its natural building abilities," Junho explained. "The creature is improving our installation with its own biological tools." As they worked, Taimin continued his communication experiments with the creature. The symbols they had established were becoming more complex. The creature was learning human concepts while teaching them about its own species. "I asked about its name," Taimin reported. "The closest translation is Guardian of the Last Hope." "Guardian," So Young repeated from inside the structure. "That is a good name." Guardian seemed to like the shortened version of its name. It made a pleased sound and continued helping with the installation. The final component was the life support monitor. This would track the baby's vital signs and automatically adjust the environment as needed. So Young carefully placed sensors around the egg while Guardian watched anxiously. "Monitor is active," she reported. "I can see the baby's heartbeat on the display. It is still weak but stable." "How long before we know if this will work?" Hyunwoo asked. "The atmospheric changes should take effect within a few hours. If the baby's respiratory system is going to heal, we should see improvement by tomorrow morning." Guardian understood enough of their conversation to know that waiting was required. It settled down near the structure, positioning itself to guard the entrance. Nothing would harm its child while it waited for the healing to begin. "We should set up camp here tonight," Hyunwoo decided. "Someone needs to monitor the baby's condition." They established a small camp near the structure using supplies from their shuttle. As evening fell, Guardian began making soft crystal sounds. It was singing to its baby, the way human parents might sing lullabies. "That is beautiful," So Young said, listening to the haunting melody. "It is a song of hope," Taemin translated after working with Guardian to understand the meaning. "A promise that tomorrow will be better than today." The team took turns monitoring the baby's vital signs throughout the night. Slowly, gradually, the readings began to improve. The baby's breathing became more regular. Its heartbeat grew stronger. "It is working," So Young whispered excitedly as she checked the readings at dawn. "The baby is healing." Guardian heard her words and made a sound of pure joy. For the first time since they had met it, the creature seemed truly happy. But their celebration was interrupted by an urgent transmission from the Vengeance. "Commander," Captain Lee's voice crackled through their radio. "We have a problem. The mining company has contacted Command directly. They are demanding immediate action against the creature. A battle fleet is being dispatched to this system." Hyunwoo felt his heart sink. "How long do we have?" "The fleet will arrive in 18 hours. And Commander, they are not coming to negotiate. They have orders to eliminate the creature and retake the colony by any means necessary." Guardian seemed to understand that something was wrong. It looked at the humans with worried amber eyes and made questioning sounds. "What do we tell it?" Boram asked. "The truth," Hyunwoo replied. "That we are out of time." Through symbols and gestures, they explained the situation to Guardian. More humans were coming. These humans would not listen to explanations or care about saving the baby. They would destroy everything to protect human interests. Guardian listened to the news with growing sadness. Then it did something unexpected. It moved to the structure and began making modifications to the entrance, widening it so that it could fit inside. "What is it doing?" Junho asked. "It is preparing to die defending its child," Taimin realized. "If it cannot escape, it will make its last stand here." "No," So Young said firmly. "There has to be another way." "What other way?" Boram asked. "We cannot fight an entire battle fleet." "Maybe we do not have to fight," Hyunwoo said slowly. "Maybe we just have to make them understand what we understand." "How do we do that?" "By showing them that Guardian is not their enemy. By proving that the real enemy has always been our own fear and misunderstanding." The final confrontation was coming. Everything they had worked for, everything they had learned, would be tested in the next 18 hours. The hunt was about to become something else entirely, a test of what it truly meant to be human. The 18 hours passed too quickly. Guardian spent the time making final adjustments to the medical facility while the baby continued to heal. The infant creature was breathing normally now, its heartbeat strong and steady. The crystalline skin was beginning to show the same healthy glow as its parent. "The baby will survive," So Young reported with relief and sadness. "But only if the life support systems continue running." "How long can the equipment function without maintenance?" Hyunwoo asked. "Maybe 6 months if nothing goes wrong. After that, someone with medical knowledge would need to service the systems." Guardian seemed to understand. It had saved its child's life, but the victory might be temporary. If the battle fleet destroyed everything, the baby would die slowly as the equipment failed. "Fleet contact in 30 minutes, Captain Lee reported from the Vengeance. "Admiral Kim is commanding the operation personally. He has 3 battle cruisers and orders to use maximum force." Hyunwoo gathered his team for one final discussion. "We have 3 choices. We can follow our original orders and help destroy Guardian. We can try to protect Guardian and fight against our own people. Or we can find a third option." "What third option?" Boram asked. "We make them understand the truth before they attack." "How?" "Admiral Kim is not known for listening to explanations. He believes in solving problems with firepower. Then we make him see what we have seen. We show him that Guardian is not a monster." Taemin was working frantically with his communication equipment. "I have been documenting everything. Video of Guardian building the medical facility. Recordings of it singing to its baby. Proof that it avoided killing colonists even when it was desperate." "Will that be enough?" Junho asked. "It has to be." The fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 3 massive ships dropped out of hyperspace and took positions around the planet. Hyunwoo could see them through his binoculars, weapons powered and ready for battle. "This is Admiral Kim to Commander Hyunwoo. Report your status immediately." Hyunwoo activated his radio with shaking hands. "Admiral, we have made contact with the alien creature. The situation is not what we expected." "Explain." "The creature is not hostile. It was trying to save its dying child. All the destruction at the colony was necessary to build medical equipment." There was a long pause. "Commander, are you telling me you have not eliminated the target?" "Admiral, the target is not our enemy. It is a refugee trying to save the last member of its species. That is not your decision to make. You have orders to eliminate the threat to human interests." "There is no threat, Admiral. The creature helped us install medical equipment to save its baby. It is peaceful and intelligent." Another pause, longer this time. "Commander, you and your team will withdraw immediately. We will handle the situation from orbit." Hyunwoo felt cold fear grip his heart. "Admiral, you cannot attack from orbit. There is an innocent child here. There is an alien threat that has killed 47 humans and damaged valuable mining equipment. Stand down, Commander. That is an order." Guardian had been listening to the conversation through Taemin's translator. It understood enough to know that death was coming from the sky. Instead of running or preparing to fight, It moved to the medical facility and curled its massive body around the structure, protecting its child to the very end. This is Demolitions. Specialist Boram. I refuse to participate in the murder of a child. This is Tactical Officer Jun-Ho. The alien shows advanced intelligence and peaceful intentions. Attacking would be a war crime. This is Communications Specialist Timon. I have established communication with the creature. It is asking for mercy for its child. Admiral Kim's voice came back cold and angry. You are all in violation of direct orders. Captain Lee, arrest your crew and return to base immediately. Captain Lee's voice was quiet when he responded. Admiral, I have been monitoring the situation. My crew is right. We came here to fight a monster, but we found a parent trying to save its baby. Captain, you are relieved of command. I am sending Marines to arrest all of you. That will not be necessary, Admiral. Guardian had been listening to everything through the translator. It stood up slowly and moved away from the medical facility. Then it did something that surprised everyone. It lay down on the ground and spread its arms wide, exposing its chest. A gesture of complete surrender. It is giving up, Taemin said in amazement. It knows it cannot fight the fleet, so it is surrendering to protect its baby. Admiral, Hyun-woo said urgently. The creature is surrendering. It is not fighting back. You would be executing a defenseless parent. The creature is dangerous regardless of its current behavior. Sir, with respect, you are wrong. We have spent days with this creature. It has had many chances to kill us, but it chose to trust us instead. It helped us save its child. This is not the behavior of an enemy. From orbit, the battlecruisers powered their weapons. Energy readings spiked as they prepared to fire. Guardian heard the ships charging their weapons. It made one final sound. A crystal song that echoed through the canyon. The song was not for the humans or the ships overhead. It was for its baby, a final lullaby before the end. Admiral, please, So-young begged. Give me 5 minutes to show you the medical facility. Let me prove that this creature is not what you think it is. You have had enough time to complete your mission. The mining company demands action. The mining company does not understand the situation. The mining company pays for this operation. Their interests come first. That was when Hyun-woo realized the real problem. This was not about protecting humanity from an alien threat. This was about protecting corporate profits from any disruption. Admiral, what if there was another solution? What if we could relocate the creature and its baby to an uninhabited planet? The mining company gets their colony back and no one has to die. Negative. The creature has proven it will attack human settlements to get what it needs. It must be eliminated. Guardian understood. Enough of the conversation to know that negotiation had failed. It stood up and moved back to the medical facility. If it was going to die, it would die protecting its child. 10 seconds to weapons range, Admiral Kim announced. Admiral, wait, Captain Lee interrupted. I am receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. The weapons charging stopped. What transmission? Admiral Chen wants to speak with you immediately. She says it concerns first contact protocols. There was confusion in Admiral Kim's voice. First contact protocols? This is a pest extermination mission. Admiral Chen disagrees. She has been monitoring our communications. Stand by for transmission from Earth. A new voice came over the radio. Admiral Chen was the highest-ranking officer in the space fleet, and she sounded very unhappy. Admiral Kim, you will stand down immediately. Is it true that you were about to attack an intelligent alien species without attempting diplomatic contact? Admiral Chen, we have orders to eliminate a threat to human mining operations. Those orders are rescinded. Earth Command has reviewed the communication logs from Commander Hyun-woo's team. This creature meets all criteria for protected intelligent life under the Galactic Accords. But Admiral, the mining company does not make military policy. Commander Hyun-woo, this is Admiral Chen. Is it true that the alien creature built a medical facility to save its offspring? Yes, ma'am. The creature showed advanced engineering skills and parental instincts. It avoided harming colonists whenever possible. And the creature's species? appears to be the last survivors of a planetary catastrophe. This individual and its baby may be the only ones left alive. Admiral Chen was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was gentle. Commander, you and your team have made first contact with an endangered, intelligent species. This is no longer a military operation. This is a diplomatic mission. What are your orders, Admiral? Protect the alien family at all costs. We are sending xenobiology specialists and diplomatic personnel to establish formal relations. The mining company will have to find another planet to exploit. Guardian had been listening through the translator. When it understood that the threat was over, it made a sound of pure relief and joy. It moved to the medical facility and gently touched the structure with one massive hand. What about us? Boram asked. We disobeyed direct orders. You followed a higher order, Admiral Chen replied. The order to preserve intelligent life and act with honor. Earth Command commends your actions. Admiral Kim's voice was bitter when he spoke again. Admiral Chen, the mining company will file formal complaints about this decision. Let them complain. History will remember the day humans chose compassion over profit. Admiral Kim, you will provide all necessary support to the diplomatic mission. That is a direct order. So Young was back inside the medical facility, checking on the baby. The infant is completely stable now. With proper care, it should develop normally. What happens next? Taemin asked. We help Guardian find a sweetheart. Admiral, So Young broke in on the radio. I am Chief Medical Officer So Young. I have examined the alien infant. It is a newborn that requires life support to survive. You would be killing a baby. Medical Officer, you are out of line. Return to your ship immediately. No, sir. I took an oath to preserve life. I will not abandon a patient. One by one, the other team members added their voices to the radio channel. This is Demolition Specialist Boram. I refuse to participate in the murder of a child. This is Tactical Officer Jun Ho. The alien shows advanced intelligence and peaceful intentions. Attacking would be a war crime. This is Communications Specialist Tai Min. I have established communication with the creature. It is asking for mercy for its child. Admiral Kim's voice came back cold and angry. You are all in violation of direct orders. Captain Lee, arrest your crew and return to base immediately. Captain Lee's voice was quiet when he responded. Admiral, I have been monitoring the situation. My crew is right. We came here to fight a monster, but we found a parent trying to save its baby. Captain, you are relieved of command. I am sending Marines to arrest all of you. That will not be necessary, Admiral. Guardian had been listening to everything through the translator. It stood up slowly and moved away from the medical facility. Then it did something that surprised everyone. It lay down on the ground and spread its arms wide, exposing its chest. A gesture of complete surrender. It is giving up, Taemin said in amazement. It knows it cannot fight the fleet, so it is surrendering to protect its baby. Admiral, Hyunwoo said urgently. The creature is surrendering. It is not fighting back. You would be executing a defenseless parent. The creature is dangerous regardless of its current behavior. Sir, with respect, you are wrong. We have spent days with this creature. It has had many chances to kill us, but it chose to trust us instead. It helped us save its child. This is not the behavior of an enemy. From orbit, the battle cruisers powered their weapons. Energy readings spiked as they prepared to fire. Guardian heard the ships charging their weapons. It made one final sound, a crystal song that echoed through the canyon. The song was not for the humans or the ships overhead. It was for its baby, a final lullaby before the end. Admiral, please, So Young begged. Give me 5 minutes to show you the medical facility. Let me prove that this creature is not what you think it is. You have had enough time to complete your mission. The mining company demands action. The mining company does not understand the situation. The mining company pays for this operation. Their interests come first. That was when Hyunwoo realized the real problem. This was not about protecting humanity from an alien threat. This was about protecting corporate profits from any disruption. Admiral, what if there was another solution? What if we could relocate the creature and its baby to an uninhabited planet? The mining company gets their colony back and no one has to die. Negative. The creature has proven it will attack human settlements to get what it needs. It must be eliminated. Guardian understood enough of the conversation to know that negotiation had failed. It stood up and moved back to the medical facility. If it was going to die, it would die protecting its child. 10 seconds to weapons range, Admiral Kim announced. Admiral, wait, Captain Lee interrupted. I am receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. The weapons charging stopped. What transmission? Admiral Chen wants to speak with you immediately. She says it concerns first contact protocols. There was confusion in Admiral Kim's voice. First contact protocols? This is a pest extermination mission. Admiral Chen disagrees. She has been monitoring our communications. Stand by for transmission from Earth. A new voice came over the radio. Admiral Chen was the highest-ranking officer in the space fleet, and she sounded very unhappy. Admiral Kim, you will stand down immediately. Is it true that you were about to attack an intelligent alien species without attempting diplomatic contact? Admiral Chen, we have orders to eliminate a threat to human mining operations. Those orders are rescinded. Earth Command has reviewed the communication logs from Commander Hyunwoo's team. This creature meets all criteria for protected intelligent life under the Galactic Accords. But Admiral, the mining company does not make military policy. Commander Hyunwoo, this is Admiral Chen. Is it true that the alien creature built a medical facility to save its offspring? Yes, ma'am. The creature showed advanced engineering skills and parental instincts. It avoided harming colonists whenever possible. And the creature's species appears to be the last survivors of a planetary catastrophe. This individual and its baby may be the only ones left alive. Admiral Chen was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was gentle. Commander, you and your team have made first contact with an endangered intelligent species. This is no longer a military operation. This is a diplomatic mission. What are your orders, Admiral? Protect the alien family at all costs. We are sending xenobiology specialists and diplomatic personnel to establish formal relations. The mining company will have to find another planet to exploit. Guardian had been listening through the translator. When it understood that the threat was over, it made a sound of pure relief and joy. It moved to the medical facility and gently touched the structure with one massive hand. What about us? Boram asked. We disobeyed direct orders. You followed a higher order, Admiral Chen replied. The order to preserve intelligent life and act with honor. Earth Command commends your actions. Admiral Kim's voice was bitter when he spoke again. Admiral Chen, the mining company will file formal complaints about this decision. Let them complain. History will remember the day humans chose compassion over profit. Admiral Kim, you will provide all necessary support to the diplomatic mission. That is a direct order. So-young was back inside the medical facility, checking on the baby. The infant is completely stable now. With proper care, it should develop normally. What happens next? Taemin asked. We help Guardian find a suitable planet for its species, Admiral Chen explained. We provide medical support for the baby's development, and we learn everything we can from the galaxy's newest refugees. Guardian approached Hyunwoo and made the gesture they had learned meant gratitude. Then it did something new. It touched its massive hand to its chest, then extended the hand toward Hyunwoo, a gesture of friendship and respect. It is thanking us, Taemin translated, and it is offering friendship between our species. Hyunwoo placed his small human hand against Guardian's massive crystalline palm, the first handshake between two intelligent species in human history. Tell Guardian that humans will help protect its child, Hyunwoo said. Tell it that it will never have to steal or fight for its baby's survival again. The message was translated, and Guardian made the crystal singing sound that meant joy. For the first time since fleeing its dying world, it had hope for the future. 3 months later, Guardian and its healthy baby were relocated to a planet, rich in the minerals they needed. The infant, now called Hope by the human diplomatic team, was thriving in its new environment. Guardian had begun building a new settlement, using its natural engineering abilities to create structures that worked in harmony with the planet's ecosystem. Hyunwoo and his team received commendations for their handling of first contact. More importantly, they had established the foundation for friendship between humans and Guardian species. The mining company found another planet for their operations. The colonists returned to Kepler 442b with a new understanding of their place in the galaxy. They were not alone among the stars, and sometimes the greatest enemies turned out to be the greatest friends. In the canyon where they had first met Guardian, a monument was erected. It showed a human hand touching an alien hand, with words in both languages. Here 2 species learned that love for our children makes us all the same. The hunt had ended not with death, but with hope. And in a galaxy full of wonders and dangers, hope was the most precious discovery of all.